everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Tuesday night tonight, I'm getting this right, a week or so ago I got my Tuesday and Wednesday night mixed up. But I'm here tonight to do a sketch challenge with you. So the sketch will go live on Facebook and Instagram in about a half hour's time. So if you miss any of the measurements as I'm going through, jump over there, one of those, either my Facebook group, my page, or YouTube, or no, sorry, Instagram, and you will find the sketch live. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight. I'm going to make a 6x6 card. I haven't done one of those square cards in quite a while, so I'm going to play with that tonight and see how it goes. I thought it would be kind of fun, and I'm going to use the same. If you caught me last night, I'm starting a new live on Monday nights called Memory Keeping Monday. I use the Autumn to Remember, and it's such cute designer series paper. I decided to use it tonight for my card. Hey Joey, hey Deborah, welcome. Now, just so I'm gonna, and Pam, welcome. Just checking with those three of you that I just mentioned. Are you watching me on YouTube? Just to confirm. I'm just trying to see if I've got my chat features, and so I can see comments. So if one of you can just confirm where you're coming in from. Hey Catherine, can see you're definitely coming in through Facebook. All right, let me switch over to my desktop and then we'll get started. All right, this is the sketch, and it's a little hard to see, but let me see. Catherine's watching on Facebook. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's my finger. Okay, this is definitely hard to see, but this is the sketch, and I'll bring it in a little closer when I start. Let's see. There we go. So like I said, it's a 6x6 card. So, you know, it's a great way to use up some of that designer series paper that we have so much of. If you are going to do this, you're going to need to use a 12x12 piece of cardstock, which we now have the two-tone cardstock. But if you're going to do a square card, you can kind of adjust. Perfect. Oh, okay, I can see YouTube comments. Just a few weird things I'm still getting used to. If you're going to make a square card, you can do this. It doesn't have to be 6x6 that I'm making. You could just use an 8.5x11 piece of cardstock and cut it to 8x8 would work, and then you just have to adjust these measurements accordingly. Okay, and I realized I adjusted my picture before I went live, or I adjusted my measurements before I went live, but I didn't adjust the picture. So the picture is still showing that there's actually only one layer to my card base, which are these two triangle pieces, but I'm actually going to put a second layer in. So, okay, so I've got a piece of cardstock that's 6 inches by 12 inches that's going to be scored at 6 inches. And then I've got a layer that is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. My picture doesn't show that. And then I've got a layer, I've got 5.5 by 5.5 cut in half. I'm actually using two 5.5 by 5.5 because I'm trying to mix and match the patterns a little bit, but you could just flip it over. And then a 1x3 or whatever fits your sentiment piece. And then I've said two pieces, I said roughly 2.5 by 2.5, and they can be any shape. I am using circles, but you can use any shape at all. Okay. Let's get started with what I'm going to use. So my sentiment's going to come. I love this one. This stamp set's called My Small Business, but I love it because of all the thanks. So there's different thanks, 4 different thanks on this one, or thank yous. And so I like to make thank you cards, and so this is a perfect stamp set. So I think I'm going to use this big thanks. Okay, so what have I got to use? I've got a piece of, this is the Early Espresso two-tone cardstock, and I'm going to just gently try to fold this over and see if you can see. There we go. I tried to show this last night. So you can see the difference between the two sides of this. One is lighter. The one side actually looks a little bit like chocolate chip, if you remember chocolate chip from a few years ago. And the other side is closer to being Early Espresso. Remember, with our two-tone cardstock, it is a lighter weight than the regular cardstock, because it's intended for scrapbooking, but you can make cards with it. The other thing to remember is it has a white center, and I don't know that you can see this, but when I cut this, you probably can't see that. Oh, there you go, you can see. It's got a white center to it, and so if you score really hard, or if I emboss this, you could start to see that center. So I'm going to be a little bit gentle when I score it, so I don't cut through that. There's some really cool techniques you can use and do with white centered cardstock, and we haven't had it for a long time, so it's kind of fun to play with that. But this time I don't really want it to split, so I'm going to be just a little bit gentle with it. So even when I burnish it, I'm not kind of pressing quite as hard as what I typically do. So there's my square card base. Now I've got a piece of, this is the Old Olive. So it comes in a pack. The Autumn to Remember, there is a designer series paper plus a card, two-tone card pack, which has Early Espresso, Old Olive, Petal Pink, Cajun Craze, and Mossy Meadow. I had to think about that. So those are the colors, and so you can choose whichever one of these. I'm going to do the light Old Olive. And so if you're making a square card, and I'm not going to do it tonight, but one of these nights I will show you how to make envelopes, different sizes. If you've got an envelope punch board, it's a great way to make all of envelopes to match your size of cards. I'm probably going to end up just handing this card out. And gosh, I didn't get that on very straight. Too late. Okay. All right. So now I've got two pieces of the, this is the Autumn to Remember designer series paper. And I just absolutely love this. So if you're using these, so these are cut 5.5 by 5.5. And so I'm going to use this one side, this side. I was going to use the green side, but I'm kind of liking the Old Olive. I'm going to cut both of them in half on the diagonal. Just remember, if you have a directional piece, that you make note of what direction that's going so you can cut it the right way. Probably doesn't matter with this one so much, but it might with some. So I'm just, running that through. I just lined up my 2 points in the track and then cut through them. And then we can decide how we want this to go. So I definitely am going to put these trees down like that. So then my first thought was to do that, but I'm kind of liking this is where you have to kind of, should have thought about this before. All right, I think I'm going to do it like that. My trees on this one are going kind of the wrong way, but that's okay. We'll live with that. And we're going to butt that up against each other. Which are kind of like little trees on this Cajun Craze piece. These are such pretty paper. There is, when you can buy this paper separately. It comes in, of course, the Autumn to Remember scrapbooking kit, but you can buy it separately, and if you do, it comes with the stickers that you can use on cards or your scrapbooking kits. Now, I love this piece with these little critters on it. So my idea was to take this is my 2 3/8 inch punch, and just punch out a couple of little critters. And so I think, I love this bear, but I don't think I can I can't get the bear in the center, so I think I will do it's all very, very hard to decide. Let's try and just cut this up. Even though I've got a little bit of that circle not there, we'll just do it like this, and then that way you're not going to notice that I didn't have the full piece, the full width of the full diameter of the circle. So I'm just going to use dimensionals. Okay, actually before I stick that down, I have some gold. This is the 1/8 inch, it is lovely paper, 1/8 inch ribbon, gold and silver ribbon. I just got the gold because I thought it would go nicely. So I'm going to see if I can get my Stampin' Seal, because I started to misbehave yesterday. I think it just needs to be turned a little bit, maybe. There we go. Let's see if, oh no. Okay, that didn't work. I knew I was supposed to fix something. Let's just take and put a little bit of glue. And I'm gonna zigzag maybe. My ribbon. Back and forth. Trying to make sure I have enough of it so it shows when I put my circles on. So I think that will. Where did my other circle go to? There's one circle. There it is. The other circle. Okay. So I'll put this on like that. So in the Designer Series paper pack that you get in the scrapbooking, these ones that were part of the scrapbooking brochure, because they're in a separate brochure than the regular catalog or the online exclusives, there are 12 sheets, but there are I believe 3 of 4 designs. Or else 4 of 3 designs. Anyway, normally there's 2 of each of the designs, 2 pieces of each of the designs. This time there are actually, it's either 3 of 4 designs or 4 of 3 designs in them. So just be aware of that. Okay, now what else do we need? We absolutely need a sentiment. Not with that piece. Okay. So, as I said, I'm going to use this thanks sentiment. This really big thanks sentiment. And I'm going to use Cajun Craze because it's just kind of a nice bold color. Ooh, very nice. Okay. I think I need that again. And then I'm just going to take and cut this. So I could have cut this before, but I'm terrible at stamping straight, so it's just easier to take a piece and then cut it after I've stamped. And then if I don't get it straight, I'm not too worried about it because I'll say I didn't intend for it to be straight. It's easier though with photopolymer stamps. Okay, and then this can go up like that. All right, so all I need now is some embellishments. I pulled out, I don't use rhinestones very often, but I decided I was going to use some rhinestones. And No, looking for my cherry, or my Cajun craze. Maybe there isn't a Cajun craze, but there is a copper clay. So I'm going to use my copper clay blend, and I'm going to color some of these rhinestones, and we will use those on our card. I love it when you can color your rhinestones to match the card. Now, of course, we need the inside. So I've cut a piece of basic white. There is willow white, which is the new scrapbooking line of white. It is a brighter white than I want to say whisper white. It is a brighter white than basic white, but this is cut 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So we just got a piece of, this is a different pattern. It's one of the back side patterns. And I'll just take, so my friend Nancy makes big cards all the time because she takes them in, I don't know if Nancy's watching. Nancy's on my team. And she makes big cards because she works in an office and makes cards for everyone to sign for birthdays and other events. And so this kind of card, she's always making bigger cards than normal. And so this would be a card perfect for what she needs, where there's lots of room, and you could put another piece of white on this side and even on the back if you wanted to, so that there would be lots of room for people to sign. So if you're in a situation where you've got, needing lots of room for people to sign and write notes, this is kind of the perfect size card for you to do. Again, you would have to make an envelope that would be perfect for this size, and there's lots of instructions around on making envelopes of different sizes. But there you go. That is a square card using the Autumn to Remember designer series paper and the two-tone cardstock. So we don't think about that, and maybe you haven't even looked at the scrapbooking brochure, but have a look at it, because there's some gorgeous designer series paper in there. And there's also 2 of the scrapbooking kits that coordinate with the Reindeer Days suite, and also the Snowy Day. I think it's called Snowy Day or Snowy Scenes. I think it's Snowy Day suite. And so there are two of those scrapbooking kits, and then designer series paper with the stickers that coordinate with that. And then there's the Halloween one, and also this Autumn to Remember. So if you're interested in that, check out the scrapbooking brochure, which is on, and it's also part of on the Stampin' Up! Website. You can look under categories, easy memory keeping, and you'll find it all in there. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. Now, tomorrow night, I will be live with a technique for you. So come join me tomorrow night, and we'll do a technique. Other than that, thanks for watching, everybody. Happy stamping. Bye.